Welcome back again. We're talking about goals. We're talking about success. Man, we're talking about some good stuff going on here. Okay, today, something I want to tell you about goals. So a lot of you might have heard about this. It's called the SMART. When you're setting goals, you want to do it smart. And let's go over what SMART means, and then I'm going to give you my spin and twist on it, okay? SMART. S-M-A-R-T. The S stands for specific. Now, there's something about putting your goals down on paper or throwing them out to the universe that it needs to be specific. Let me give you a couple examples. If you just say, I want to be rich, that's not going to work. But if you say, I want to make $10,000 every week consistently for 6 months by January 2019, you're going to be a little bit more likely to reach the second goal than the first goal, because if you're sending a message out to the universe, or if you're writing down your goals and it's not specific, you don't really have anything that you're working towards. So it's got to be specific. I agree with this as far as the SMART goals go so far. Second, it has to be measurable. Now, what does that mean? It means that you have to be able to track it, measure it, know. So like if you want to, numbers are a good one, especially for money. So if you want to measure how much money you want to make, okay? So you put an exact number on it. You can measure how many pounds you want to lose. You can measure how many miles you want to run. You can measure how many days you want to do something. Like I always do a 30-day challenge. I'm measuring it by the amount of 30 days. Okay? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So when we're making goals and we want to be smart, you want to be specific. Your goal has to be specific. Your goal has to be measurable. And then the A stands for attainable. I don't know how I feel about this one. And I know that there's different opinions about this, but I always have the opinion that why can't you set your goal to be whatever you want? Whether you reach it or not is one thing, okay? But I like to set my goal super high so that if I get close, I'm happy. Because if you set it here because you know you're going to attain it and you get here, what's the point, right? I believe that we need to stretch ourselves and just keep stretching and keep stretching on all of our goals. Where a lot of people say, well, if you make it attainable as part of the SMART acronym, then you'll feel good about yourself and you'll accomplish something. So my take is I like to stretch my goals further than what I think is really attainable, because then if I get there or get really close, I'm super happy. I know a lot of other people think that if you make it to somewhere that you think you can attain and you reach it, then you're happy too. So there's a difference of opinion. I've shared mine with you. The next one is similar to this one. It has to be realistic. Now, I agree to this mostly, kind of. It does need to be realistic. But again, why can't we set our goals to be whatever the hell we want? Honestly, seriously, like why can't we shoot for the moon? Or why shouldn't we shoot for the moon? I mean, if you think about all the people that did shoot for the moon, like John F. Kennedy, that was a crazy goal. Was that realistic? I don't, at the time, probably not. But look at what's happened because of that. You've got to dream big. And so that's where I vary a little bit from the realistic. On the opposite side, yes, it needs to be realistic. If your goal is to make $1 million by next year and you're making $20,000 a year now, I don't know how realistic that is. Or if you're 500 pounds overweight and you want to lose 500 pounds or 400 pounds in 30 days, not realistic. So there's the pros and cons to the realistic side, okay? I'm just going through the acronym. You make your decision. I'm sharing with you what I think you should do. The next and last one, it needs to have a timetable on it, okay? And that's kind of related to the specific, but you need to set a date on it. If you just say, at one point in my life, before I die, well, even if you said before I die, that would be a timetable. But if you just say, at some point, I'm going to be the fittest man in the world, or at some point in my life, I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, you need to put a timetable on it, okay? And we'll get into deeper about goals, but it's got to have a timetable, okay? if you want to retire by 55 and have $1 million in savings, you've put the timetable on it. By the age of 55, that's when you're going to reach it, because this helps you, when you put all this together, helps you know exactly what it is, hones in exactly what it is. So tonight, as part of your homework in your journal, write these things down and then just start thinking about what your goals are going to be. And again, in the last video, we talked about applying everything we've learned about ourselves up to this point. So taking that information and then looking at this information, spend 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes tonight writing in your journal, just writing down whatever comes to your mind, whatever you want, whatever you think your goals are, write it down. I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to put any limitations on it. Tonight, spend 15 minutes writing down whatever you think your goals are, taking the information, applying what we've learned up to this point in the discovery phase, and now also taking into consideration everything we learned today about SMART goals, kinda. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'll see you on the flip side. Man, this is the fun part.